When you would think of European touring cars, you would think of 190E Mercedes, AMGs, Porsche 911, BMW E30s, and a bunch of different European cars that came out of the touring car era. But the last thing you would probably think of that would ever come out of that era would be a Ford. Back in the 80s, Ford needed to replace their aging out Cortina. Now they could have gone really conservative with their design, but instead they went very radical. So that's where in 1982 they came up with the Sierra. It was a smooth, aerodynamic, and futuristic, totally different from the boxy sedans of the world at the time. Europe didn't love this car at first, but the wind tunnel did. The Ford Sierra was incredibly slippery through the wind tunnel and had much better aerodynamics than anything in the early 80s. But here's the interesting part. America never got it. Ford could not bring the Sierra to America because of different trademark issues with other companies that had the Sierra name. Something you might be familiar with are things like the GMC Sierra, and I'm pretty sure some other GM companies actually had that trademark much earlier on. So Ford couldn't actually use that name, so they had to rebrand the car. And on top of that, you have crash safety hazards, big 5-mile-an-hour crash bumpers at the time, and all sorts of things that essentially ruined every single European car that came to America, and this is no different. Instead, Ford created an entirely separate brand called Merkur, which is a German version of Mercury, and they ended up selling a version of the Sierra through Lincoln and Mercury dealers from 1985 to 1989. That car was rebranded from the Ford Sierra to the Merkur XR4 Ti. What a weird name. So back in Europe, Ford wanted to dominate Group A touring car racing. Now to do that, they had to build a homologation car, which means they needed to build a certain amount of road-going cars to classify as a street-going car in the racing series. Now that meant that they had to build a certain amount of these street-legal race variants that had just the right amount of race car parts on the street car to where they can use that as their race car. The result of that ended up being the Ford Sierra RS Cosmo. Turbocharged 16-valve engine, aggressive aero, a massive whale tail wing, and it wasn't just quick. This car was built to win. They even came out with the RS500 Evolution model, which absolutely dominated in the racing series it was put in. The RS500 became nearly unstoppable in the touring car championships around the world. The Sierra went from futuristic family car to a global motorsport legend. And the great part about all that is the American-going Sierra got absolutely zero of those qualities, and we got boned as we usually do in the American market. So while Europe got the beautiful wing and the nice body kit, Americans, as usually, we got the grandma car version. That doesn't really have any of the nice qualities that the European car did. So instead of getting a 200, wow, my knees, wow. Oh my God. I'm gonna stay down. Now instead of getting a 200 plus brake horsepower, twin cam, 16 valve, badass little 4-cylinder, the American version, as always, got the Lima 2.3 liter based SVO and turbo coupe style engine, little tiny displacement that made like 170 horsepower. So significantly less than what would have came in the European version. As always, everything that comes to America always gets ruined. But that's not the only variant that was out there. And on top of that, there was a much better version. So down in South Africa, believe it or not, in Group 1 racing, the exact same issues with homologation applied down there, where they were trying to dominate in Group 1 racing. So instead of running a turbocharged 4-cylinder, the guys down in South Africa thought it was a great idea to stuff a V8 in these things, which is where the XR8 became very popular. Now these are incredibly rare. I think there was only like 200 of these cars built to meet homologation standards, and none of these cars had the wings, and most of the ones that you see now are sedans, and not even the 2-door variants. And overall, just a very scarcity down there. But these cars did get built with a 5-liter Windsor and a V8, which is much different than the turbocharged 4-cylinder in Europe, as well as the turbocharged 4-cylinder in America. And this thing was all about raw torque and power. So this car is technically not an RS500 Cosworth. It's technically not a Ford Sierra from Europe. It doesn't have a twin cam 16 valve. It doesn't have a turbocharged 4-cylinder. It's not even really an XR4. And it's technically not an XR8 because it's not a sedan and it does have a wing, or is it? Maybe it is an XR8. Man, I should be banned from Facebook Marketplace because I always end up with stuff like this. Now, what is behind me is an XR4 Ti that someone had swapped in a 5-liter as well as a T5. So essentially what we have is a rebranded Wish.com Fox Body Mustang in some sort, I guess, or an XR8, essentially. But the American version. So this car is sick. I picked this thing up just a couple hours north of where I am. Joe, the guy I got the car from, was super cool. Told me the whole story. They had this car, a friend of theirs swapped it over 10 years ago, and it's pretty much been sitting since then. And it will only get driven maybe once or twice a year, very slightly, and they get put back away. This thing's pretty sick. So I haven't determined whether it's SN95 5-liter or it's Fox Body 5-liter, and that's just because I haven't had enough time inside this engine. But I do know that this, I believe, is SN95 airbox, and it is an SN95 pulley drive, which makes it, I think it was like 3/4 of an inch shallower or whatever. Basically shoved the pulley drive in a little bit to allow for a little more room. As you can see, nothing fits in this car, to the point to where the radiator is so big, you can't even put the brights and the headlights because they'll hit the radiator. so that's obviously not ideal. But on top of that, it also has some style points, because like I mentioned earlier, crash bumpers in the 5-mile-an-hour bumpers. Basically in the 80s, late 80s, America had all sorts of amazing DOT style points by putting rubber bumpers on everything that looked terrible. This car doesn't have that. Believe it or not, this is actually a Volkswagen bumper off of either a Scirocco or a Corrado or a Jetta. This is, I think, a Jetta bumper, if I remember right. So this is a Volkswagen bumper. I think actually has like the logos on the lights right there, but this is all German Volkswagen bumper, and ironically you would never have guessed a Volkswagen bumper fits on a Ford. Alright, now I'm getting in these ugly, nasty, really rare seats that are probably worth nothing but a trip to the dumpster. We do have a T5 5-speed, and that seems to be in pretty good shape. Everything is stock, handbrake still works. The weirdest, most weak steering wheel I think I've ever seen in my entire life. That doesn't work. Half of the gauges don't work. Temp gauge works, and that's about it. But the cool thing about this is the entire harness and everything out of the V8 car has been grafted into this car, and it was actually done very, very well. Especially, you got to keep in mind this car was built, let's say, 10 or 12 years ago. There wasn't necessarily YouTube videos on how to do everything. Forums were much different than they are now. Social media was non-existent, so trying to find information was definitely difficult. And the guy that built this car definitely did a really good job. So like I said, this car has a weird setup, but it was built very well. So believe it or not, this car, as you can see, a hodgepodge of parts, right? But very well married. This car actually has a Supra Mark III diff, which is an independent diff. So instead of having like an 8.8 out of like a Cobra with a center section, this has a center section out of a Mark III Supra. That's 430 gears. The subshafts, I think, are out of a Scirocco or something. And then it has Ford SVT Focus, ironically enough, I have one. Disc brakes all the way around, as well as SVT Focus struts and a set of coilovers up front with the top hats welded into the engine bay, which you probably saw in the front half of the car. So, and that's just the beginning of these kind of modifications. The entire car was to be a carb legal swap. It had all of the air pumps, all of the injection systems, all of the OEM sensors, and this car still has all of the catalytic converters and a full 3-inch exhaust all the way to the back. That is fully done, way better than I've ever seen anybody engine swap a car before. So, like I said a million times before, whoever did the swap, you did a very good job. So going along with weird parts on this car, you can see this is not your average brake booster. This is an electronic diaphragm and solenoid for like power brakes, and this is out of a Merkur Scorpio. This is the other Merkur that they built, and it's not a regular system, and it's obviously not your generic like go to the parts store with a brake booster and a vacuum system. This is fully electronic, but it was nice because this diaphragm has a ton of pressure in it and basically preloads your brakes like a power brake system, but it's fully electronic. But again, Merkur Scorpio, not like Ford Mustang or any other generic car. I don't know. But the fact that it's in there and everything in here works. The other thing I want to point out, there is no butt connectors around on this harness. It has all been grafted in your salt and pepper shaker connectors from, let's say, a Fox body. Those are all there. TFI is still correct. Has a Ford map in it still. All of the sensors have OEM part numbers on them, and everything has been grafted in here and not cut. Even harnesses that look like this, like there's no butt connectors everywhere. That's where I was like, wow, that's pretty dang good. And one of my favorite parts about this car, one of the things that actually drew me to this, was the set of Team Dynamics 17x9 discontinued wheels that are sitting on this thing. Now, if you don't know, Focuses, as well as every single Fox body except the SVT Cobra and the SVO Fox body, were all 4-lug cars. So any V8 variant of a Fox body you could not necessarily get with a 5-lug unless it was a Cobra or an SVO. Fun fact. Every single other Fox body, as well as the Focus and as well as these cars, have the notorious 4-lug 4-on-108 lug pattern, which is absolutely atrocious for finding any sort of wheels. Now, Team Dynamics actually made these really badass wheels, and they're very, very hard to find. I don't think they've made these wheels in 10 years, and you probably could never find them. You can see by the center caps, they're weathered, they're old, but they're really, really cool. They have a really nice finish to them and a really nice offset. So these are a 17x9 plus 20 all the way around. And at the time of this video, they're actually sitting on a set of 235s that fit quite nicely. So with that, not a bad looking car. So this is a weird car, and I like weird cars, and Facebook Marketplace was good to me. And Joe, I appreciate the shirt that you gave me too when we got this thing. So with that, I figured there would be no better place to take this than a group gathering of weird, quirky cars from the 80s. And that's when I decided to load this thing up in the trailer and take it to SoCal Radwood, where I had the best time of my life. So let's get into that. I was like, what is that? Look at that thing. It's shiny. Holy crap, that thing looks brand new. Dude, that thing looks brand new. I know. This is so sick. This is probably one of the coolest venues I've ever been to. So I'm gonna get loaded in. I'll show you guys all about it. But man, just look at all the boats. You get the picture. Maybe not. Spill my Red Bull in my crotch. Great way to start my morning. Man, look at that view, dude. It looks so basic on camera, I promise. It's pretty wild. Okay. Jeez, this car is fast, dude. I need to get a wider angle camera lens. It just doesn't do it justice, so I apologize. But man, dude, this car is quick. Look at the lineup, dude. That is one hell of a lineup, man. The car gets hot, just sitting, the fan sucks. So this is how we're gonna push it in. I mean, go like really slow. Oh yeah, that works. Oh yeah, that's easy, dude. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, it'll be fine. There we go, we just give it a little. Yeah, there it is. Look at that, sick rollers. Ghost trying the whip. Nice, everyone's probably like, damn dude, look at this POS, it's all broken. Just V8 merkur things. Yep. Car looks bitchin'. He's really enjoying himself right now. There's actually a support bar right underneath where his bumper hits, so it's not damaging the bumper like at all, which is really nice. But yeah, you can see it's already at like 200 degrees. So I was like, well, this kind of stop and go crap really doesn't do well with this kind of a car, so I'm just gonna let him push it. And then we're actually, and then I'll pull into the spot. I just don't want it dumping coolant everywhere. I just clean the engine, so either way, this is, this works, right? Yeah, that works. God, no way!
Fucking XR4 Ti and it's black.
There's another one.
Tell him to cut the line and get up here with us.
I know, he has a wing. I have a broken wing. My wing's back there. I gotta put it on once we get in there. It's broken though.
How we doing, boss?
Good, good.
You know I've been watching your YouTube from about 6,000 subscribers, right?
Really?
Yeah, bro.
Dude, I appreciate that.
I'm dead serious. I watch. We talk about it all the time in our work channel, Haggerty. Yeah, dude.
That's so
it's
sick,
great
dude.
to meet you, man.
Thank you, man. Well, I'll see you inside. Thank you.
I'll to chat with you.
Well,
Thanks
yeah.
for coming.
Where'd you find the front fascia? Because this is a Sierra fascia, right?
Yes, yes it is.
And
I brought it back with me.
Oh, really?
From England.
So you went out there and bought this on like marketplace out there?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
shipped it back?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's crazy. Because I know you can't. They're like.
No, I didn't ship it back. I brought it back with me on the plane.
Really?
yeah. I checked it.
The
I
bumper
boxed it all up.
Is the bumper the same, or is that different as well?
It's all different. While it's kind of the same chassis,
yeah,
everything about it is different.
Yeah, I figured.
Cool. His is a little bit nicer than yours.
A little bit. It's slightly. This thing
has as many cylinders.
I think it makes more power than mine too.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Part of me wishes
that's a beefy little turbo.
Part of me wishes I'd stuck a 5-liter because it would have been way more reliable.
You think?
Yeah. I've got a 5-liter Fox body, so.
Yeah. These things like a little time bomb.
Yeah. Well, it's.
Depends on how much you turn them on.
I mean, what's the compression on it?
It's 8-to-1 still.
Oh, okay. And these are TSW wheels, you said, huh?
Yeah, 17x7, 19mm offset.
Okay.
So I had to roll the fender lips and everything to get them to fit.
Yeah. Man, this thing is so nice. Oh, so that's what that's supposed to look like. Yeah, mine's all gutted.
Yeah, and it's still kind of.
That's super cool.
It's still attached.
That's what your dash was.
Yeah. Oh, this is like a Focus. Yeah. Same
But the
thing.
dash had been replaced on it. It was all cracked.
Oh, yours isn't like all warped like mine is.
Because it would have had the center speaker. I don't know if yours still has the center speaker in
I
it.
think
but
it's just a hole. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that steering wheel. I was looking on eBay, that steering wheel is like $400.
But this is a little bit different. This is from, I think, a standard Sierra, so it's not leather wrapped.
Okay.
But it doesn't have a horn in the middle either. So I had to source a turn signal stock that has the horn button on the side.
Oh,
so what's really interesting is all the connections and everything are there for the cruise control.
Yeah.
So that completes the circuit. So I just snipped the wires and ran a relay to switch it from ground to positive.
There you go.
So it functions as a horn button now. And it's an actual horn switch, so it still has the horn and everything on it. But I could have gotten away with the cruise control one too.
That's funny. Mine does not work. It has the button and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it's really. And I put a better horn in it. I hated the factory horns because you couldn't hear anything.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it sounds kind of European.
It's like a little train horn.
It's the Wolo bad boy horn.
I like that. This is literally the yin and yang cars.
Yeah.
I gotta put these next to each other because they're a white and a black one. That's super nice.
I had.
Oh my god. I was really hoping I would see one of these. This is definitely my favorite car here. EV110, baby. I've seen one of those one other time. That's crazy, seeing EV110 in person. Man, I really look funky with these glasses on. I look like 40 years older than I actually am. Name what country singer I look like. Yeah, man.
Bugatti in there?
Oh, I knew you were gonna say it. I was like, remember this car? This was the fastest car in Forza Motorsport 4.
Yep. It's them to do like 270.
Yeah,
268.
Yeah, it was like 270.4 or something like that. It's the ugliest but the coolest.
The ugliest but the coolest.
Have you ever seen one of these in person?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I've seen one once.
It's a Bugatti.
One other time. Wild. I'm pretty sure this is a Hammer coupe because of the weird back window, right? Like the roof line. That's a sick body kit though. Dude, yeah, these are dope. Yeah, look at the offset on these things.
Put those wheels on for slow.
Yeah, those look good. Damn. This thing is sick.
Something you need to look at.
Bro, what? Oh, what the hell? Dude, that's legit. This is sick. This is super cool. Freaking long tube header on this thing, and it's a Kona. So Kona was like the factory mountain bike edition for these things. You can see it came with the mountain bike and the mountain bike rack, which is very hard to find. And yeah, the fact he still has the bike is crazy. And the side trim was literally a mountain bike tire. It was this one-off color, it was very specific to this car. But yeah, this thing is cool. Dude, this thing's got freaking all sorts of cool gizmos in it. And the seats too. That was pretty fun. 80s cars are cool, man. I like experimenting with different types of stuff. It doesn't always have to be cheap 60s crappy hot rods. It could be cheap, crappy 80s. This is not a hot rod, but either way. I like just going and experiencing different parts of the car community, and Radwood was no exception to being great. That was awesome. So I want you guys to let me know what you do with this thing. I have the idea of pretty much seat time track car to where we can hop in it. We could drive it anywhere in the country, but we could also drive it on the racetrack. This car can be driven literally anywhere. So that's kind of the idea I have. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What you think we should do aesthetically, the engine, anything else. This is basically my Fox Body Reborn, which we will have an update on that car very soon. I know you guys are commenting about it in every single video. The Fox Body is not dead, and it will return in 2026.
Well,
but
it's
this
dead right now.
It's dead right now, but it is You gotta be rebirthed. This is its counterpart, and this is kind of me like rebirthing that 5-liter 5-speed in the old crappy 80s cars. This is the perfect substitute to that. So with that, hope you guys want to enjoy today's video. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy. Let me do your thing down in the comments below. And I'm thinking that we should take this thing on the racetrack next. Maybe, I don't know, spin some laps, see how this thing does. No preps, put it on the trailer and go. I don't know, we'll see. See you guys.